Good morning, Career in Ruins fans. Welcome to this special podcast. Now, for those of you that are looking forward to hearing the dreamy tones of Dr. Derek Pittman, I'm afraid this is a bit of a special today. So I'm actually going to take this opportunity to do a bit of self-promotion and talk about my career in ruins at my current role at Forestry England. So if it's Derek Pittman you tune in for, I'm afraid best log out now. And I'm afraid there's no great sort of special guests. But anyway, welcome to this episode of Career in Ruins. Now, I'm putting this together because it's currently the Festival of Archaeology. It's a 2-week festival that's being run by the Council for British Archaeology, and over the last 2 days I've been attending events that we as the Forestry England have been delivering across the country. So yesterday I was out in Marlborough in Wiltshire looking at Westwoods, which is this fantastic beech woodland which contains an array of different histories, but one of them is this link to Sarson's quarrying. So Sarsen stones and management and its use all the way from prehistory through to Victorian period, and an amazing landscape. And that was out with a lady called Katie Whitaker, who's an expert in the area and someone we should definitely get on the podcast. But today I've driven up to Sherwood Pines in Nottinghamshire to learn a bit more and find out a bit more about the First World War history. So I'm going to be catching up with some of my colleagues, catching up with some of the reenactors who are based here, and learn a bit more about this amazing history that can be found here. Provide a bit of background about Forestry England as a whole. We are the largest land manager in England, so we have got over 250,000 hectares that we manage, and that includes over 1,500 forests across England. And within that, we've got more than 45,000 recorded historic features and sites and monuments across all that area, which pretty much equates to I think it's around 30 monuments per forest if you were to average it out. But that includes everything from Paleolithic caves, where we got evidence of cave hyenas and bears, to Second World War launching facilities and everything in between. And it's not just sites and monuments, but we've also got designed landscapes, registered parks and gardens, and even the Forestry Commission history itself, so the creation of these forests and new villages associated with the creation of Forestry Commission just over 100 years ago. And our heritage is super rich. We've got over 750 scheduled monuments, around 100 listed buildings, about 30 registered parks and gardens, and all of this builds up to a really, really interesting narrative. And forestry itself offers this opportunity to preserve and enhance archaeological records in a way that other landscape covers perhaps don't. So when we think about things like agricultural and intensive agriculture, you might see regular ploughing taking place over archaeological features, or when you're building new housing developments, for example, you might obviously you're going to lose a lot of archaeological sites in that way where they to be built on. But forestry, these sites sit within the woodland and are kind of just left to be. They are managed, they are protected, but they offer this fantastic level of preservation and insight that other landscape covers don't. And as a result, Forestry England have got this amazing archaeological record that people can come and explore and enjoy. So over the next 2 weeks, we're providing a number of events where people can go out and learn a bit more about what's hidden in their local forests and their local woodlands. And I'd invite you all to go to the Council for British Archaeology website and just see what's going on near you. For the time being, though, I'm going to head in and I'm going to go and meet a few colleagues and learn a bit more about what's going on. Okay, so I've just come out of the car park and come down to this fantastic setup with information boards and a big tent over the top, all branded up, and bumped into a few of my colleagues. So do you fancy introducing yourself?
Hi, my name's Lindsay McCulloch-Howe. I'm a Learning and Recreation Ranger here at Sherwood Pines. And today we've had an event on as the World War One trench experience. It's introducing people to the fact that we have trenches here from World War One at this site. And back in World War One, this was one of 4 major training grounds here in the country.
Amazing. So what have you got planned today in terms of engaging the public and helping them to learn about some of the amazing histories of this site?
Well, we've got a tent up to capture people as they come down from the car park, where there's some brief information about the camp, and then also my family history. My own grandfather was demobbed back here on the 1st of February 1919. But I also have 4 uncles, 2 on paternal side and 2 on maternal side, who served in local regiments. So the chances are they may have been to this site. I'm not quite sure, because records from World War One are difficult because a lot of them were damaged during the bombing of World War Two. So it's not easy to find out where they actually started, and quite a few of the records for my uncles are incomplete. But I've got a lot of information about them through the family and some photographs and things, and I often share this with school groups because we've got a lot of local interest now in the local history of this area.
Fantastic. Just fascinating. So when we talk about a First World War training site, we took a couple of thousand people based in this area, or how many people should be thinking might have been stationed here in advance of going out to fight?
Well, it was suddenly realised from the outset that we were going to be short of men. After all, the regular army was limited. So it was going to have to be conscription from the local population or from the population. So from April 1915, we had anything from up to 30,000 young men stationed here at one stage. They were from all walks of life. Some of them had never handled a gun before, most of them probably not. They'd also got to learn how to defend themselves, how to dig trenches, and different forms of warfare. So a lot of the trenches were dug for training purposes as well, not just for the fact of practicing how to do all this. And they spent a certain amount of time here, and then they were shipped out to the front. You have to remember that a lot of these young men were 18 plus, so very young, very inexperienced.
Yeah, it's a very poignant point, actually. And on that point then, so anyone that can't necessarily attend today and weren't able to come along and learn about the amazing history here and meet some of the reenactors that are here to help bring it to life, what can they come back and learn about the site again? Are there notice boards? Is there information that they can come and learn about at a later date?
Yeah, sure. As you mentioned, Lawrence, that we have had a reenactment team from here today. It's the first time we've worked with them, and it's absolutely wonderful. They're absolutely very, very engaging with the public. So we hope to repeat this next year, at the same time next year. But if you come down in any time, you can go down and have a look at our replica trenches. They've possibly been built where there was an original trench, but there is information there about them. There's a timeline of a soldier's day, and also there are silhouettes of 5 soldiers down there, all of which are my relatives, and there's information there about their life and their service in the forces and what happened to them as well. They did follow the statistics, so sadly some of my uncles did not come back. My grandfather did, or I wouldn't have been here now.
Oh, thank you. It is an amazing site, and the setup in terms of the interaction, the information that's available is brilliant, and it's well worth a visit. So pop down to Sherwood Pines when you get a chance, and there's a great car park, there's a great cafe, there's loads of other things you can do while you're here. But in terms of learning about living history, it's a great place to come and do it. So we better crack on. We've got a long day ahead of us, but thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you for coming.
I've just bumped into Ellie James, who's one of my colleagues at Forestry England and has been helping to deliver the event here in Sherwood Pines. But Ellie, first of all, could you just give us a bit of a background about your role in Forestry England and then how you've been helping deliver this event today?
Yeah, hi, I'm Ellie. I've been working with Forestry England since June as a intern with corporate affairs based in the Bristol National Office. So I've been working in the past weeks to help facilitate our Festival of Archaeology events through marketing, as well as on-the-day deliveries, such as organising gazebos and pamphlets and working towards the evaluation of the events afterwards by getting surveys ready.
Fantastic. And we should say that Ellie's done so much hard work in terms of coordinating all the information to get it online and so people can find out what we're up to, and just helping facilitate all the people that are delivering projects for Forestry England. But you've just finished your archaeology degree, haven't you, Ellie? Do you fancy giving us a bit of background about that?
Yeah, I've just finished my undergrad in archaeology at Exeter, so it's been perfect for this project. They're very much married together.
So you just finished a degree. Do you enjoy it? What's next? Now you've just had graduation.
Yeah, I really enjoyed my degree, so I'll definitely be doing bits of archaeology in the future, but I'm looking to do a master's in environment and sustainable development in September.
Amazing, a fantastic crossover as well, completely transferable in terms of useful connections and interlinking. And in terms of the event today, how's it gone? What have you been up to, and what's the general vibe been like?
Yeah, it's been really good today. We've had a lot of people coming through and everyone's been really enjoying the event and very happy with the reenactors. And I've been mainly collecting surveys, which has involved talking to lots of people, which has been really good fun, and also doing some sort of counting of traffic through the trenches to get an idea for how many people came today.
Fantastic. And have you got an appetite to join a reenactment group now?
I think I'd never say never. It's always on the cards if the opportunity arises.
That was a very diplomatic answer. Ellie, thank you. I'll let you get on.
Thank you.
Right, I've just I've finished doing some laser scanning of the trenches. I come down to join some of the reenactors that have been making today a bit more of a living history for the visitors. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Captain Dickie Townsley.
Fantastic.
Corporal Don Blythe.
Lance Corporal Steve Davis.
Fantastic, thank you, chaps. Now, obviously, you guys are part of this brilliant. I don't want to call you a reenactment group. Is that correct, or how would you describe yourselves? And what's the name of your group?
So we're here in the guise of Frontline Living History. So reenactors, if you will, or living historians. I think it's fair to say living historians are kind of taking reenactment, bringing history in the past to life to the nth degree. It's probably the easiest way of explaining it. So we're here in an educational remit for the day.
Yeah, fantastic. And so in terms of people, because this is an audio sense, we're here at Sherwood Pines. It's a First World War site. So you guys are here in First World War get up, for want of a better description. But talk me through what you've been delivering today and what you've experienced.
So we've been with a trench here. We've been inhabiting it and taking the public round the trench and showing them all the sights of being in a trench during the Great War, showing them the equipment and the uniforms and the weapons that was used, and also some of the other bits that they find around the trench, such as Mills bombs and just other accoutrements that a soldier would have had whilst living in a trench such as you have here.
It is amazing the amount of material you've got into just everything from your sort of uniform to individual rifles. You've got dummy grenades, even to a point where I saw a fantastic bit of medical equipment where people could restore their legs after they'd broken this. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Absolutely. What you saw there was something called the Thomas Splint, and it's a pre-war design, and what it's used for is a fractured femur. And so if you fracture your femur in 1914, you have an 80% chance of dying from that. It's introduced to all frontline units in 1917, and those statistics reverse. You have an 80% chance of surviving if you use that frame correctly at the right time.
Incredible stats, but also from what I saw, I imagine it would have been absolute. I mean, I appreciate getting shot, it's going to hurt a lot, but having your leg pulled back into position once you'd broken it must have been agonising. So I guess morphine might have played a part.
Morphine would definitely play a part in that one. So
yeah.
definitely.
Oh, fantastic. So in terms of what you've encountered today, it's not been too hot, I don't think. You guys, I mean, you've got pretty thick uniforms on, but the general public's take on it all, has it been a successful day, do you think?
Absolutely. By my crude estimates and GCSE and maths, which I barely scraped, we've had in excess of 300 people here for definite, and the feedback has been exemplary. The people who are coming through have really enjoyed it. They've asked the right questions, been really interactive and hands-on. People have come through, they've been picking up things like dummy grenades, picking up tins of food, picking up rifles and so forth, feeling the weight of them. It's all about bringing history to life. It's not going into one of these museums where you just look at a screen and watch a film, or you see something in a cabinet. You're actually immersing yourself in history. You're wrapping yourself in it. You're saying, well, what did these guys eat? What didn't they eat? What did they fire? What did they carry? How did they go about a typical day? And the people who've been lucky enough to come along today have learned all about that.
I have to say it's been an absolute pleasure seeing the public interact with you guys from all age groups and all demographics, and the children in particular just thoroughly immersing themselves and asking some amazing questions as well. In terms of anyone that's listening that wants to find out a bit more about what you guys are about, or learn a bit more about your interests and things like that, where can they go?
So myself and Stephen are, and our colleague Peter, who can't be with us today, and we are hosts of the Living History UK podcast, where we discuss all things in terms of not only just military history, but also social history as well. So yes, we're on Spotify and all other good podcast platforms as well. So it would be great to have you come along and give us a listen.
And finally, in terms of if people have got an interest of taking part or joining a group such as this, any advice on that?
Go out, go to a history festival, go to somewhere like Chalk Valley History Festival, go and talk to people and find out. And there's plenty of opportunities to learn about history out there.
Fantastic. Chaps, thanks so much. I better let you crack on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that marks the end of what was an absolutely fantastic day. Whilst everything's been going on, I've had the laser scanner, so I've been doing some 3D recording of the reconstructed First World War trenches, with the hope that we can make these available online, so people who perhaps can't access them or come to the site have an opportunity to see what other people can see. So that's been great, and we got some good results there. But the energy, the excitement, the learning, the enthusiasm from all people that came down has been absolutely brilliant today, made entirely possible through the passion and enthusiasm of my colleagues, and also the reenactors, which have been absolutely brilliant. I hope it's been a nice little insight into what we do at Forestry England in terms of outreach and engagement and sharing our histories, but also gives you an idea of what you could be doing and finding out and learning about all the amazing Festival of Archaeology events going on across the country. So do check it out this year. And if you missed it, check it out next year. It happens every year. And there's loads more going on. Hey, final plug. This Sunday, so a week's time, the 30th, 31st of the month, Derek and I are going to be at Corfe Castle for a free event with the National Trust, another CBA event. But we're going to be doing a live podcast. So people are going to come along and listen to us interviewing people in person. So if you want to come meet us, come meet some amazing archaeologists and have a great day free in Corfe Castle, then come on down. We can't wait to see you.